Welcome to this explainer. So today, we're going to completely flip how you look at ballroom dancing. A lot of people just view it as a purely social thing, a really fun way to spend an evening out. But we're going to dive into the data that proves it's actually a highly customizable, legitimate workout. By the end of our time together, we're going to break down the actual science of the calorie burn and hopefully turn the dance floor into your absolute favorite fitness studio.
All right, let's just dive right in and tackle the biggest question right off the bat. It is time to bust the myth once and for all that ballroom dancing is just some leisurely stroll to music. Because when you step out there and really engage with the movement, your body is doing a massive amount of work. So what kind of energy expenditure are we actually talking about here?
Well, here's the instant payoff. On average, a dancer can burn roughly 150 to 300 calories in just a 30-minute session. Think about the math on that for a second. If you stay out on the floor for a full hour, that translates to a solid 300 to 600 calories an hour. That puts ballroom dancing right up there with your traditional gym cardio, just with a whole lot more style.
Section 1, Factors of Calorie Burn. Because, as you might guess, your personal burn rate isn't going to be exactly the same as your partner's. First up, we've got body weight. This is pretty much a fundamental rule of physiology. The science shows that heavier bodies generally expend more calories doing the exact same physical activity. It literally just takes more energy to move a larger mass across the floor, right? So if you have a higher body weight, your total calorie expenditure for that 300 to 600 range will likely sit toward the higher end.
And that brings us perfectly to our second variable, which is dance intensity. Now, this is where you are completely in the driver's seat. Intensity basically means the speed of your footwork, how continuous your movement is, and, how many rest breaks you're taking. The faster you move those feet and the fewer moments you stand still catching your breath, the higher your calorie burn is going to climb. Number 3 is the style and tempo of the dance itself. Let's be real, not all ballroom dances are created equal when it comes to burning energy. Higher energy dances and quicker rhythms are naturally going to demand a lot more from your cardiovascular system. A slow romantic dance will keep you moving, sure, but a rapid, quick tempo rhythm, that is what really spikes the heart rate and melts those calories away. And finally, our fourth variable is duration. This one is simple math. Assuming you're maintaining a similar effort level, doubling your dance time will roughly double your total calorie burn. So, if you burn 200 calories in a 30-minute lesson and then stick around for a 30-minute social dance right afterward, bam, you've easily pushed yourself to that 400-calorie mark. Moving right along to Section 2, Estimating Your Effort. Let's look at how you can actually calculate your own burn for your next lesson. Okay, to get a more accurate estimate of your personal burn, you can use a super simple two-step process. Step 1, honestly ask yourself if you're doing light, moderate, or vigorous work. Step 2, just factor in your specific body weight and the actual amount of time you spent dancing. But how are modern gadgets actually calculating this behind the scenes? Well, the real secret sauce here is the science of METs, or metabolic equivalents. This is exactly the metric your smartwatch or fitness tracker uses to figure out the energy you're expending. By classifying ballroom dancing with a specific MET value, these devices can approximate your calorie burn by just multiplying that value by your body weight and the time you spent moving. It's pretty clever. But hey, what if you don't wear a fitness tracker? No problem at all. To figure out if you're hitting that sweet spot of moderate to vigorous intensity without any fancy tech, just use the trusty talk test. It works like this. If you are gasping for air and literally can't speak, you might be overdoing it. But if you're casually chatting about the weather without taking a breath, yeah, it's definitely time to pick up the tempo. You want your breathing to be noticeably harder, but you should still be able to hold a conversation. Let's just compare the extremes for a second to really paint a picture. Think about a relaxed session with longer pauses and slower pacing. That's going to keep you securely on the lower end of that 150 to 300 calorie burn per half hour. Now, contrast that with a vigorous session packed with frequent turns, sustained partner movement, and almost zero downtime. That sustained effort is exactly what pushes you toward the maximum calorie yield. Ultimately, the kind of workout you get is totally up to you. All right, Section 3, Maximizing Your Dance Workout. Now that we've got the metrics down, let's look at actionable ways to safely increase that burn. If your main goal is to really crank up the calories, you've got to focus on consistency, not just wildly rushing around the floor. You can safely maximize your workout by deliberately choosing faster tempos, cutting out those small, sneaky little pauses in movement that really add up over an hour, and focusing on building your stamina gradually. Just try pushing for a few more minutes of sustained effort each time you go out there.
Actually, wait, before you go all out, a super crucial part of maximizing your workout safely is treating your body like an athlete's. Remember to actively warm up before the music starts and cool down when the session is over. This is absolutely vital to protect vulnerable areas like your ankles, knees, and hips from unnecessary strain. Proper joint care is what ensures you can keep dancing and burning those calories for years to come. And you know what's incredible? The calories are just the tip of the iceberg. Aside from the fantastic cardiovascular benefits and the awesome calorie burn we've been talking about, doing regular ballroom sessions will noticeably improve your overall coordination and balance. You are literally training your brain and your neuromuscular system just as much as your heart and lungs. It's a total package.
So, let's bring it all together. Knowing that you can burn up to 600 calories an hour, all while dramatically improving your balance and learning a beautiful new life skill. The only real question left is, when are you going to swap out that boring, repetitive gym routine for the dynamic energy of the dance floor? Seriously, think about it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.